Welcome to all of you who have joined us. Very happy good evening to everyone in India. Good morning to everyone who is from USA and the other parts of the world. Sat Sri Akal, Namaskar. Um, we have a very exciting here. We is a new day starting here in Washington D.C. area. Today is Sunday, September 19th, and we have a whole lot new bouquet of, so to speak, of light of violet flame, particularly. So, talking about Saint Germain, and we'll be talking about that in particular in shortly. Much more. You will love to hear that. So, we are really actually continuing what we began yesterday. So, as you know, some of you are new, but most of you know that we said our weekend has two parts, Saturday and Sunday. So on Saturday we start a new ray. So like seven rays. So we started the seventh ray of Violet Flame teaching on it, decrees that we talked about yesterday. We started a new round of decrees that we'll doing for the whole week, starting yesterday till next Friday. So there'll be 7 days of Violet Flame decrees. We talked about the teaching about what energies, good energies that we want to embody, and what are the perversions or the negative energy that we want to overcome that through that violet flame decrease. But also we talked about the masters, the three masters, the three levels of masters, so to speak. The Chohans, which is lowest level, which is close to the earth, close to the us, people on the earth. Then the next level is the angels, archangels, or the particular ray. Then the third level is the Elohim of that particular ray. So these are our new friends that we develop, that we have forgotten. They have not forgotten us, but we have forgotten about them. So we are actually reacquainting ourselves with these masters, with these cosmic beings, with these angels, archangels, and our divine family, because we ourselves are also have the same heritage of light or divine uh, in family. So we are really reconnecting with our divine inheritance, so to speak. So I'll wait a few more minutes as more friends are joining us to welcome you individually. But I think what we do is always we start. I have a full course of teach of bouquet of light, different flowers, different dishes. You can say that of violet flame. So I'll wait a minute or so. But Jay, can we have my friend the invocation from our messenger first before we go to the next part of our presentation?
Beloved, mighty I am presence from the heart of God in the great central sun. O mighty threefold flame of life, O holy Christ self, intensify thy light within us. Expand the great spheres of light round about us. Beloved Archangel Michael and seven archangels, come forth in this hour. Come forth to cut us free. Place your mighty electronic presence with us upon this altar, in this room. Cut free souls of light to be present with us in this hour. I call to all the hosts of heaven to cut free the souls of light and bring them into the knowledge of their own mighty I am presence. Therefore, in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and the Divine Mother, we consecrate these souls to their immortal victory in the light. In the name of Jesus Christ, Amen.
Okay. Uh, so this is the one thing I wanted to add. I have said that before. Each invocation that she has given, there are thousands of invocations. I don't recall how many of them. Each invocation that she gives, she's not reading something. She's doing from. It's like a what you call it from Vedas. We have the Turdi Bani Punjabi may we say that, but Akashwani we call it in Hindi. So it's really she's attuned with her I am presence, and she's really each invocation is different. I haven't found any invocation that has something that kind of similar or so. So that is something that is for us to also imitate, that we can be our divine home, our divine inheritance is with residing with our I am presence. We had that. We forgotten about it. We lost it because of our karma. We made the karma, then of Maya we call it. We got delusion by negativity of this world, which is called the relative feeling, and we've forgotten about it. So now, by the grace of God, various and the Master's teachings and their presence and their wisdom that they have given us, we are actually retracing our footsteps back to our source. So let me welcome all of you on behalf of our team of uh, actually uh, Poonam, Jay, Jasjeet, and myself. I'd like to welcome all of you who have joined. Particularly, we have some friends from here from Washington D.C. area. We have Emanuela Singleton, welcome. We have also Diane Gunn, welcome, and we have Martha Strickland, welcome. So now we have Rita ji, welcome. Belinda ji, welcome. Uh, I see. Yeah, Pooja ji, welcome. Pooja Nikhale ji, welcome. Pooja Ahuja ji, welcome. Rene ji, wow, welcome from Goa. I know you are over there, so nice of you to have you. Pooja Tule ji, welcome. To say, uh, I think that's all I see on my screen so far. So as we have more friends joining us, I will be pausing and to welcome each one of you. Alka ji, welcome. And JP Saab, welcome. Dr. Ranjit ji, welcome. I think that's that's what I see on my screen. So I will come back to it to make sure that we have all of us our together as one mind, one body, one soul, connected with the heart of the our own I am presence, and to the heart of when we are connected to the heart of our I am presence, then we are connected to each other because the vibration is the same of the I am presence in each one, and not only each one of us, but each one in the heaven, us and the master angel, cosmic being. And that is the teaching that we want to not forget that. So that's why we say we want to be in that vibration, the vibration of the one. Remember, you might have heard we are one, O-N-E, one. One means that, we are one in that vibration of the holiness. And that vibration is a pure vibration of God, that we are absolute vibration of God, that we all are striving to regain, reunite, rehave it once again. And that's the purpose of life. That's the goal of life. Once we have that, once we are closer to that vibration, it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. You know that, I know that, So, but by the grace of God, we are on the right footing in this life. We have what we needed by God gave us. God gave us the human body. God gave us the opportunity. God gave us the teaching of the masters, and God gave us each other, as a community to work for. Okay. Uh, Remember, yesterday I played a meditation. I think some of you were there, but I want to play that again. And that vibration is from YouTube, and you can see the link when we play that. Uh, that vibration is that meditation is really about our vibration and also it tells many things, and you might have different way of looking at it. But when I looked at it a couple of times, I thought there were a couple of messages that meditation was offering, that giving us. One message was our source, who we are, where we have come from the heart of God in the great central sun. So you will see the beginning of the meditation, you'll see the stars, you will see galaxies, then we all of a sudden it will zero on in the great central sun, the causal body of Father, Mother, God, Alpha and Omega. You will see a picture of Guru Ma with meditation closed, with her eyes closed. What she is, I don't know what she is feeling, but she is looking at what she is visualizing. But I think we can all, do something like this is our source. So all the whole thing you can visualize that from the beginning to the end, where we came from and where we are today and where we are going. So the whole 8.5 minute long meditation. It shows that where we have come from the heart of great center sun, from the heart of Alpha and Omega. Is you see that causal body of that great causal body of I am that I am, which is really causal body of Alpha and Omega, our Father, Mother, God. Then you see the threads coming up, individualized I am presence. And that is you. That is me. That is everyone on the earth, that has that I am presence. Then you see the I am presence, the light in the through that thread coming to the heart of the three parts of the I am, the profile of I am presence. First, the upper part, which is the I am, you know, and then you see the light descending and how the light is, the and then the lights come to the second part, which is the middle picture. We call it higher self, Krishna consciousness, Buddha consciousness, Christ consciousness, Holy Christ self, different names, Atma, all the names, the middle, the mediator, the middle picture, Then you have the third picture, third figure, that is you and me, and you see the seven chakras inside of your inside your body, and you see the light going into each chakra and rinsing it, cleansing it, the violet, the light of the I am presence. But particularly, and I will. It doesn't say violet. It doesn't show violet flame, but I think you can visualize that violet flame or different colors, pink or blue, or seven colors that we are talking about. The seven rays. Each color has a cleansing property. Then once it has done that, so it has cleansed all the seven chakras. Now this is the part that you want to, you might be wondering why is going on? What is the purpose of cleansing of seven chakras? Because we already talked about the vibration we have same vibration, so it's cleansing us of all negativity, negative vibration that we have accumulated in our chakras. Chakras are housed in our four Lord bodies. You know that. But we are going to the micro level, from the macro level to the micro level of the chakras. That's where they are being cleansed, like taking a bath, taking you stick a soap, you rub all over your body, so you are actually violet flame or other colors are cleansing our chakras. Once it has done that, then this is a part. Then something is called a resurrection. Resurrection, you will see a coil of spring-like coil in which our soul is getting ready to make our ascension, which is called moksha. That doesn't mean that we are making ascension physically. We are we are still could be in the embodiment here and now and have that freedom from negativity. And we can be walking like an understanded masters. That is the part that people sometimes think moksha is leaving the body and then going to. Yeah, that is the true. That is the other part of it. But so why we are doing that? Why we are preparing for moksha? You might. That's another question, because our home, we came to the earth to accumulate more light, to fulfill our mission, and we got caught up here in the negativity, Maya glamour, negative, all the kind of things, lifetime after lifetime. Some of us are as old as millions of years, as any masters have told us that, So we are actually, we came here to do some work, and we have to do some work. Again, the service work continues. So that is the point that why we are ascending, and then we are going for the other realm, other light. And life is eternal. Life does not end in one cycle. And after that, we make a moksha. Life doesn't end there. Life does not end there. It continues. So Jay, having said that, let's have that meditation, please. I think now you will enjoy that. Actually, you can see that on YouTube on your own. So you can look at you can copy the the title of that meditation. You can click on the search, put it on the search column, and you can actually do that. The music is very beautiful. I think it's put by Summit Lighthouse. I see the Summit Lighthouse logo there at one place. Okay, Jay, all yours.
The same one as yesterday, right?
Yeah, the same one as yesterday. Yeah, thank you. There are a couple of observations that I'm sure you have made it also, but I want to share with you that we want to, every time we look at it, a meditation like this, we want to get ourselves personally involved. Think about you, your, the whole thing from the very beginning to the very end is you, your soul becoming, making your soul, you're making aware of our soul, is origin, its source, and its destiny, where it came from and where it is going. And then you visualize light descending just like that into your, from that point of very beginning to cleansing every chakra with, you can be doing violet flame decrease if you want to do violet flame, because violet flame decrease cleanses each of the chakras, that has its property. But if you notice that one thing in the when you came to the heart part, started with the crown chakra, third eye, then was yellow, was green, then was blue, the throat, then it was heart. In the heart, you saw the picture of Holy Christ, your Holy Christ self, Krishna, your Krishna self, your Atma, your higher self, whatever name you want to call it. And by the three-fold flame, also you saw that. And the size of the three-fold flame was 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 very, what was the size of the three-fold flame was about 6 feet, about same size of the size of Jesus or Holy Christ self. And that is right now the size of three-fold flame is only 1/6 of an inch. And then uh, but we want to increase that size because Jesus Christ demonstrated that size can be increased, and the more the size of the three-fold flame is, the more we have three plumes. Love, more love we have, more understanding of love we have through the yellow plume, more power we have because of these other two plumes. Gives us more power, divine power, not the power, human power in that sense, but the divine power. So that is the threefold flame balanced, threefold flame increased in size, three-fold flame then starts spinning clockwise, and that you saw at the end, the spring, that the coil becomes that, and the soul ascends into that, and you become that. You be inside that soul. So that is your story in 8.5 minutes. You can, when you use that, when you give your lecture or you talk to your friends and you want to tell them, about humanism, and divine inheritance. Divine inheritance is absolute. Humanism, by definition, ism, is something people have diluted it. People have put their own ideas. So this other part that I want to make sure, I have said that before. The seven colors of the chakras are not the seven colors of the prism that you see in the solar light. And I explained to you that is solar light. This light is a light that beats your heart. That is different, two different things. So people, whoever did that long time ago on Google, on books, on different schools of thoughts, they have introduced the seven colors of the prism solar light and have superimposed them upon the seven chakras. And they say, well, these are the seven colors of the chakras. Not so. This is what the master teaching is. So we want to really unlearn something that we have by mistake, by whatever, by pressure, because we did not know anything better. Ascended Master teachings were not there until 1958. So this knowledge is really very relatively very young. So that is something that, so people, we hope that the golden age, Satyug, is really beginning, the consciousness which is right now. And through this kind of corrective measure that we take in our mind, we kind of prepare ourselves to be more receptacles of light. So I think I want to welcome Akashi. I want to welcome Shivyaji also. Uh, the link is, I think Jay has put on the chat room link if you want to. This is a YouTube. I think it's 1079. That is number before the YouTube, and then it says something about the integrated integral wholeness or something like that. I don't remember exactly the title, but that link will give you the information that you need. Anyway, we're going to begin our real part today. I'm looking at the watch. It's half an hour already passed. I have three YouTube video clips. about this Saint Germain. We are talking about this the seventh ray master Saint Germain. So actually, it will be good to actually, Jay, can we have the master of the seventh ray document? That we, so just a little bit more introduction. I think it's good to have that kind of reread or review of what we did yesterday. I did only part of it yesterday. I emailed to everyone the masters of the seventh ray, who they are, as we talked about the three layers of that. We talk about Chohans and the archangels and the Elohim. So this is the one we'll be talking about today, Sunday Master Saint Germain, and I think we talked about quite a bit. I want to just read a couple of things because for the sake of time, there's much more that I would like to you to see that on video, but I just want to give you a foretaste, kind of appetizer, before you go to that part. So I think I'm going to go to the second paragraph, which is not highlighted. Uh, uh, okay, let's start with the first paragraph, first line. Saint Germain is a Chohan of the seventh ray. Together with his twin flame, the ascended Lady Master Portia, the goddess of justice, he is the hierarch of the Aquarian age. Okay, now I'm going to go to the second paragraph, which is not highlighted. Saint Germain is known as a diplomat expressing the godly qualities of dignity. Now, this is what we want. Why dignity? So you might be thinking. So everything that I'm reading to you, sometimes our human mind will like to say, "Oh, he's very." Saint Germain was dignified. He was somebody special. Someone, like he was a mission and all that. We like to separate the ascended masters or god and goddesses or holy men, from us, and that is not the case. Please know that everything that we are reading here applies to us, and we can do that. Ascended Master's teaching is this one: what one man can do, all can do, because we are all have what? We have been created equal, but what does that mean? We all have a threefold flame, Ascended Masters and us. We have the same threefold flame. So that means we have a same potential to do what the Sunday Masters have done, what yogis have done, what Mahatmas have done, what the great ones have done. And so we are walking on the footsteps. They are our older, or senior, or big brothers or sisters. The female deities, I call them sisters. So now I'm going to continue. The God, the Saint Germain is known as a diplomat expressing the godly qualities of dignity, grace, gentility, poise, and true statesmanship through all who will invoke the seventh ray. So that says it all. We invoke the seventh ray, we can get those qualities. Simple as that. The name Saint Germain comes from the Latin Sanctus Germanus, meaning simply the holy brother. Holy brother means whole, 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 pure, absolute love. So the one quality of absolute wholeness is love. That is perfection, we call it. So that's what is all our goal is. Our causal body is made of love. Absolute perfection, that is love. That's what we seek, perfection. Not in human body, not in human form, but the love, the divine love. When we begin to understand the meaning of divine love, what it means, how we can embody that, then we are on the right course. I'm going to read the last paragraph of Saint Germain says before you begin to go to the next part. And these are very electrifying words that came from Saint Germain's heart. And he's saying it all that he, you say them, all that he can say. Can say that a picture is worth million words. I can say this paragraph is worth million words. You can say that way. Okay. Saint Germain says, "You are mortal. I am immortal. The only difference between us is that I have chosen to be free, and you have yet to make that choice." Is it true? We have the same potential, the same resources, the same connection to the One. I have taken mine to forge a God identity. And that God identity is a picture that we, meditation that we saw, I am that I am. What is the truth? What is the God identity? I am who I am. I am that I am. I am what I am. So that was the word in English. Let's do that in Hindi, yeah, Sanskrit. Om Tat Sat Om. Aham Brahmasmi. Or simply put, Om. I am God. I am Brahman. Brahmasmi means I'm Brahman. Brahman is the chart of the presence. Bhai. That's the same of the presence. I am that I am. If your friends have a difficulty in accepting the words in I am that I am, they say, oh, we had these Vedas 10,000 years before I am that I am was given to Moses, 4,000 years ago. We had in India had a golden age civilization. Much before then the rest of the world was in darkness. You know, we have forgotten that, and that's why we are being reminded by masters. But we have the same. Saint Germain said we have the same resources. That's the part that I wanted to highlight. Resources means what? Resources means what? Resources mean the same, maybe tools, maybe same kind of books, knowledge, a Sunday master teaching, the illumination, the friends, the community, the presence of the master, the name of the master, the degrees, you name it. We have the same resources that he had. He used those resources. And so that's all I wanted to say. Now let's go to Archangel Zadkiel and Holy Amethyst. This is a picture of Archangel Zadkiel. It's a beautiful picture in wall of flame. This is also from Summit Lighthouse. Archangel Zadkiel and Holy Amethyst is his twin flame, and uh, they they are the, as you know, each ray has the archangels also. So they represent the violet flame, Archangel Zadkiel and Holy Amethyst. I'm going to read the second paragraph with highlighted. The name Zadkiel means righteousness of God. What does that mean? Righteousness of God, you can think, oh, yeah. It means a whole lot, by the way. And I tell you what I understand. You may have a better, bigger feeling. It's evolving feeling because we don't get everything at one time. Our consciousness expands gradually. Righteousness of God means, unrighteous man, unrighteous person, righteous person. So the righteous person is the one because the righteous person is our holy Christ self. Righteous person is our Atma. Righteous person is our middle figure, whatever name you call it. Holy Christ self or Krishna consciousness. Or we in Punjabi we call it Satnam. We call it Khalsa also. Khalsa mero roop hai khas. Khalsa mein hum karo nivas. That was the Bani, Gurbani. We have in the Sikh, Guru Granth Sahib. As Guru Gobind Singh put it. Khalsa means pure, righteous. Has Nam, Satnam or Nam means, word. In the beginning was the word. We call it Nam. Beginning was the word. Word is the spoken word, but word also means the right word that we speak. And our higher self speaks the right word. So my point here is this. When we are connected with permanently, bonded permanently with our higher self, that word that we utter is a word of God. Remember, I told you the Guru Maharaj invocations are different. They are not same. I'm talking about the same thing here. Our word becomes so much integrated with our jivatma, with our soul, that whatever we speak is a righteous word. That is the word of God. That is the word, and that is that is possible to all of us. Nobody taught us. Nobody taught me. I was wondering. I was looking. I was wondering, what, God, where are you? Why there are so many different school of thoughts? Somebody says something else, and how do I know what is right? So I think because you are here, because God has heard your prayer, God has heard our prayers. God is going to hear prayers of every person who is looking for this kind of question, looking for the answers to this kind of question, looking for the truth, and God will provide us. Please know that that is the law. The call compels an answer. That is a fiat. God says, "You shall call to me, and I will answer it." And this is what it is. That's why we are together. I'm going to read that last paragraph of that J of the words of Zadkiel, please. The quotation. Do we have that or no? Uh, yeah, here it is. Yeah. So we see that this is the three paragraphs. These are again, these came from the mouth of Archangel, and they are very important because we call it Gurbani, word of God. We call it Ten Commandments. It came from the mouth of God. We gave the decrees of the came from the mouth of God. The dictation that we hear, came from the mouth of God. So they are all undiluted. So that is the way. That is where Gurbani, we call it, we came from the mouth of God, dictation that Guru Nanak Dev Ji got, received. Okay, I'm going to read that. You can read with me or you can listen to me. Archangel Zadkiel describes what he and the ascended hosts see when a devotee of God calls forth the sacred fire of the violet flame. We're talking about violet flame today. So devotee is you, devotee is me. So this is something we do not know, we do not feel, we not cannot see that. But Archangel Zadkiel says he is seeing that. When we do violet flame decrease, this is what happening to us at the inner level, at the inner side that he sees that. Quote, we see from inner levels the tremendous efforts you make to transmute the layers upon layers of karma you have made in this and past lives. It is truly a marvelous thing for us to behold. In one moment, you sit surrounded with every kind of negative thought revolving in your aura. In the next, you decide to invoke the violet flame. And listen to the next paragraph. And lo, the mighty power of the seventh ray, as a giant electrode of cosmic energy, begins to form around your person. The violet flame angels gather around you with palms like this. Outstretched, they direct across your four lower bodies and your aura an arc of the violet ray. As that arc flashes across your beings, it vaporizes the negative condition. They literally disappear from heart and mind. So this is something some of our human mind can say, oh, kuch bhi nahi ho raha hai. Nothing is happening. I haven't given decrees for how many years? Nothing, I don't. But you feel that. You feel that, you don't see that. And here is something that Archangel Zadkiel saying. He sees that. And when our third eye opens, if God wants us to have our third eye opened up, we will see that also. So it's not a third eye, opening of the third eye is not a sign, an indication of attainment. It's a phenomena. Anyone can have phenomena from lowest to the highest. As these are the words of Guru Ma. I'm just repeating that. Okay, last one is Elohim, Arcturus, and Victoria. So these are the Elohim of the seventh ray, Arcturus and Victoria. These Elohim created our world of form. So they are actually the way I see that is that God said, "Let there be light," and then there was light. This is from the Genesis, old Bible. So I think the Elohim created that blueprint already. So Elohim said, so they have to. So that's what we are doing. We already had the blueprint of the earth, people, you, me, all the detailed organs, animals, birds, weather. So, how everything is going to happen. Like we see that minerals, oil, everything, every minute detail. They created a blueprint of that. So they are our father, mother, God. I say that Elohim. So we have forgotten our Father, Mother God. This is another level of connection that we want to reestablish with our Father, Mother God, Elohim. There are seven Elohim. So I'm going to read that again, the quotation, because I think that says it all what they want to tell us, rather than me saying that something. So the Arcturus and Victoria have spoken frequently about the benefits of the violet flame. Quote, the problems of the world are bigger than both of us and all of us. They are not bigger than the Elohim of God, but they are bigger than us when we have no one to contact in the earth who will make the call to the violet flame whereby we can intercede. That shows us your importance, my importance. Because masters cannot interfere, God cannot interfere, Elohim cannot interfere on the earth because they are not allowed to unless we invite them, unless we give Wall Flame decrees. So by giving Wall Flame decrees, we are inviting them, we are giving them energy. We are asking them, please come, help. And this is the energy I'm giving you, Wall Flame, to use that, multiply it, bless me and bless all mankind. That is new teaching. I did not know that. We all did not know that because no one taught us that. This teaching was not there. So we are so grateful that we have this knowledge of the free will and why God cannot interfere. I used to think God can see everything, God can do anything, whatever they want. Why you have to, give them energy or why you have to invite them? They created the world, they can come. Not so. So thank God, thank the Ascended Master for this illumination of this teaching. Second paragraph. The wall flame then is the very solution of the hour to get things moving. In all of these places, you see as you sit before your TV sets and stare in wonder at the atrocities being committed. You have you yet have you saturated the area with the wall flame? Question. Whatever problems you see when you look at your home, life, your family, and your children, you know that the wall of flame can and will make the difference. You know, so whenever you see television anchor, you saying all the things about COVID-19 and Delta and all other things going on in this part of the world and in this and that pollution. Now you know wall of flame is antidote to all those problems. Next paragraph. Many of you have seen the film Aladdin, and you have said to yourself, quote, now that is just what I need. I need a genie. Genie. I need a genie. Well, Saint Germain is a genie also. So you have your genies. In fact, you have 10,000 times 10,000 genies. For look at all the ascended masters and hosts of the Lord, who, when they hear just one command from you, command is a key word here. You can say, how can I command? I am a human being. Uh-uh. You are not you are a human being, but you are be divine, becoming you are divine in the human form. Let's put it that way. Because you have a threefold flame, that is your divine part. Please remember that. I'm going to continue that. Okay. Uh, where I was. Uh, when their command is okay, Lord, who when they hear just one command from you, when that command is qualified by the will of God, that's very important. Will of God is very, very important. Otherwise, it becomes a black magic. Something doesn't happen, you say, well, I commanded it. It doesn't happen. God doesn't answer me. Huh? It has to be will of God. Please remember that very, very important. Okay. Call and okay, is qualified by the will of God, will answer your call and perform for you so long as what you are asking is the will of God and is keeping with the cosmic timetables for that event. That's another part. Cosmic timetables, it can come on later on. You make a call, it'll come not right now, it'll come a year or 6 months or couple of days later. So that's another thing to remember. We are in joy, Arcturus and Victoria, ever ready to save planet Earth to answer to your command. Last line. Everything that happens to you in this world can be altered by the wall of flame. Only you can decide. That is, I won't say it's a tall order. I think it is an honor. So that, oh my God, can I do that? Can I alter that? Because God in you and will of God and the cosmic timetables. These are the three things that keep in mind. Okay, Jay, now you can get more information from this link there. Please go to TSL Encyclopedia on the Google, put this word, and then you come to this page, then you can put in the search column anything that you want to put, wall of flame, or anything that you want to put there. Arcturus and Victoria. I put Arcturus and I got this. You can put Archangel Zadkiel and you will get that. Saint Germain, you will get that. Anything that you need. We have a resource that masters are talking about. We have the same resources that Saint Germain talked about. Okay. Now, Jay, let's go on, my friend. Let's play that Master of the Seventh Ray. It's a 10-minute long YouTube clip from Guruma. And I think we are doing that. We always play that. These are all on YouTube clips or on Seven Chauhans or on the YouTube. So we've been playing that every time. So this one is on Saint Germain. You'll enjoy that. See, we have more friends. Okay, I'll come back to that. Okay, Jay, go ahead, my friend.
Now we come to the Lord of the seventh ray and the seventh age, beloved Saint Germain, hierarch of Aquarius. He was embodied as a ruler of a golden age civilization between 50 to 70,000 years ago in the area where the Sahara Desert now is, in a very fertile valley. The story of this golden age and how it came to an end and how he withdrew is sealed in the Lords of the Seven Rays book. It's very important because Saint Germain has said to many an audience, many of you were there, and I'm calling you again to that memory of that time. He held a great banquet at the conclusion of the time when the masters could serve with the people, and he gave a crystal goblet, a crystal chalice of light, that all who attended that banquet would never, ever forget their God source or their I Am presence. Saint Germain was high priest on Atlantis more than 11,500 years ago. He served in the order of Lord Zadkiel in the Temple of Purification in the Caribbean. In this temple of Lord Zadkiel, the Archangel of the Seventh Ray, we find him serving in the order of the priesthood of Melchizedek. Saint Germain and Jesus have shown me the record of Jesus himself having studied in that temple when he was embodied on Atlantis. And it was in that temple that Jesus was made a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. Now that particular phrase and teaching found its way into the book of Hebrews, a very mysterious book of the New Testament that no one is quite sure who wrote. I think the most likely candidate of authorship for that book is Jesus himself, because it tells you that Jesus is a priest after the order of Melchizedek, a priest forever. And who would have known that but Jesus? No one else writes about it. Furthermore, it speaks of Melchizedek being made likened unto the Son of God. And of course, no one in the New Testament is ever speaking about anyone who could be like the Son of God except Jesus. So it's very interesting when you get into Hebrews that there's some teaching there that they forgot to leave out. It was a very moving moment in my life when I saw the Akashic records of the Archangel of the Seventh Ray actually in ceremony according that level of priesthood upon both Saint Germain and Jesus Christ. He was the prophet Samuel in the 11th century BC in Israel. He gave the teaching to Saul, obedience is better than sacrifice, and he also anointed David king. He was Saint Joseph in the 1st century AD in Nazareth. He was Saint Alban, the late 3rd or early 4th century, the first British martyr. He was a Roman soldier at that time living in Britain who sheltered a fugitive priest. He became a devout convert and was put to death for disguising himself as the priest in order to save the priest. Saint Germain was the master teacher of Proclus around 410-485 Athens. Proclus was the last major Greek Neoplatonic philosopher. He was the head of the Platonic Academy. His works cover philosophy, astronomy, mathematics, and grammar. He was Merlin, the great alchemist, seer, prophet, counselor at the court of Arthur. He was Roger Bacon, about 1220 to 1292 in England. Roger Bacon was a philosopher, educational reformer, and experimental scientist. He was the forerunner of modern science, renowned for exhaustive investigations into alchemy, optics, mathematics, and languages. George Kuntz called him the most gifted man of the 13th century. He joined the order of Franciscans to pursue his investigations, and he was brutally persecuted by them for his scientific beliefs. One of his most important embodiments was as Christopher Columbus, 1451 to 1506. And he was Francis Bacon, 1561 to 1626. He was the true author of the Shakespearean plays
and there is a cipher embedded in their first editions which proves this fact. He was the father of inductive science and the herald of scientific revolution and the lawful heir to the throne of England. You can read about the exciting life of Francis Bacon, this cipher, and how he was born to the Virgin Queen and Lord Leicester, and forever thereafter denied by his mother and never given the opportunity to wear the crown. He left that embodiment and became the Count Saint-Germain, the Wonder Man of Europe. We talk all about the Wonder Man in the introduction to Saint-Germain on Alchemy and the first book of Saint-Germain on Prophecy. He was admired throughout the courts of Europe for his adeptship, including removing the flaws in diamonds and other precious stones. He was seen to bilocate and to dissolve his form at will. At this point, he really was an ascended master who had a dispensation to physically appear over a century and a half. He is recorded by many people, including the diaries of Datamar, as performing all these feats. I quote amply from all of these sources to authenticate that he actually did these things or was said to have done them. Voltaire called him the man who never dies and knows everything. He worked behind the scenes to create a United States of Europe and forestall the bloodbath of the French Revolution. His counsel was ignored. In a final attempt to unite Europe, Saint-Germain backed Napoleon, who misused the master's power to his own demise. Saint-Germain then turned to the New World, and as he had already been working with America since its founding, he stood by George Washington throughout the Revolution, called for the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and directed the writing of the Constitution. He anointed George Washington as the first president. So now we're going to look at this master whose chakra is the seat of the soul. He comes to awaken our souls in the sign of Aquarius. His retreat is in Transylvania in Romania, as well as in Table Mountain in Wyoming, but he uses the Royal Teton Retreat for his training. At his University of the Spirit, you are prepared to receive the gift of prophecy and the gift of the working of miracles. Saint-Germain uses the diamond with the amethyst and the aquamarine. The name amethyst comes from amethystos, the Greek for not drunken. The ancients believed it quelled any kind of passion, appetites, desires of the body, preserved chastity, controlled the emotions, imparted dignity, love, compassion, and hope. That amethyst crystal you see is amethyst quartz, and of course there is a more refined amethyst that is of gemstone quality. The Hebrew belief is that it could induce dreams and visions. Casey says it makes the body more sensitive to spiritual influences, higher vibrations, and healing forces. It's good to wear for meditation, increasing abilities during exertion, and preventing personal anger. It is the gem of the bishop's ring in the Catholic and Episcopal Church, associated with kingship, religious ceremony, ritual in church and state. Unquestionably, the amethyst is the gemstone of the alchemist and the prophet, and that means you. You are destined to be an alchemist as well as a prophet in this age. And by prophet, I mean one who reads the handwriting on the wall and knows the signs of your times, your comings and goings. The amethyst, like other gems, is a receptacle. It stores the seventh ray and attracts the gifts of the Holy Spirit. One should always have an amethyst on one's person and an amethyst crystal on one's desk for resolution, harmony, joy, creativity, and freedom. You can visualize the amethyst on your desk as a nexus of a figure eight through which all deliberations and conversations with others that see you may flow and be transmuted. Saint-Germain may impart a flame to an amethyst you wear. The aquamarine, the light green, blue-green, is the other side of the coin of the amethyst. It is the stone of the Blessed Virgin Mary and of the Divine Mother, and it's used by Saint-Germain with the amethyst as a powerful feminine grounding of the seventh ray aspect of the Holy Spirit. As the Shakti is to Shiva, so the aquamarine is to amethyst. With indigo, this aquamarine color represents the Divine Mother and conveys devotion and healing.
The preceding lecture was given by Elizabeth Clare Prophet, world-renowned author and spiritual teacher. The Summit Lighthouse is an international spiritual organization dedicated to universal enlightenment. Founded in 1958, the Summit Lighthouse has been a beacon of truth to thousands worldwide and a leader in New Thought spirituality. The preceding program has been brought to you by the Summit Lighthouse.
Pretty soon we'll be listening to a short meditation, about 3 minutes long, on the Royal Teton retreat that where you go at night with Saint Germain and the Master train us. I says they have a retreat there, as you know. Master have retreat all over around the globe. So this is one way. It's beautiful meditation. Before you go there, I'd like to welcome Srinivas ji, welcome. Lavina ji, welcome, and Belinda ji, I think all of you, welcome. So Jay, now let's have that meditation, please. It's called the meditation on the royalty and the retreat, 3 minutes long. So these, what you were looking at is the Table Mountains in Wyoming, state of Wyoming in America. So the retreats of the master is not only physical in these mountains, but above these mountains in the etheric plane. So that is something to, but you can look at the beauty of the radiation down in the physical, where the retreat is above. So that is the one to, the music is violet flame music. You can listen to it before you go to bed at night, retreat, because that prepares us, the music prepares us, it soothes our senses, prepares us to our soul to leave the body and go to the retreat and come back. So that is the whole purpose of, I think one of the purpose that I understand about prepares our soul for the travel at night, soul travel, they call it, for learning. Okay, now I have actually, Jay, can you play the Waliflame song? It's about less than 3 minutes long. I am the Waliflame. I think we have heard so much about the Waliflame. I thought before you go to the next section on a, on a description by Guruma about the Saint Germain inside story of Waliflame, I want to have us little bit knowledge about the Waliflame. Yeah, Waliflame kya hai? What it is all about, what is the unique qualities about it. A lot of people do not know that. People do the olive flame energy healers in India. I have seen them. They just take a piece of olive flame and they use it, add it to their whatever they've been doing. But as a little piece, it's much more than that, which I think we have to really delve into that. So let's have this olive flame um, uh, decree that I think it's a video. Beautiful, beautiful. This is the one. Yeah. Thank you.
I wanted to imagine.
Someone asked me, this is actually decree 70.11, 70.11, 70.11. And someone asked me not too long ago, she said, can we sing any decree like a song? So, yes, you can. So this is one example of that. So if you have difficult time in, for whatever reason, but what you enjoy that also as a rhythm, as a song, you can do that. So this is an example of that. You can memorize that one and sing it as a beautiful, as a rhyme, as a beautiful song. Okay, we are moving forward. Uh, There's another clip, it's about 18 minutes long. It's by Guruma. It's called The Inside Story of Saint Germain. So she talks about how she met Saint Germain and her journey. And And I think there is a point here that you want, as I said before, you can connect everything about her, what her story with your own story. How she's a, I think a lot of pieces she says that how she found Saint Germain. So you can actually add your own part of that when you hear that. Okay, Jay, let's have that one. Very personal, very enthusiastic story.
Him. It was an amazing experience in my life because when I was 18, I was leaving home to go to college, and I knew I wasn't coming back, so I made a call to God, and I said, I thanked him for my home and my parents, and I said, if there's anything you have placed here for me of which I have not availed myself, please tell me, because I'm leaving and I'm not coming back. And so God spoke to me, resounding in my temple, and said, go to the library, pick up the book, Unveiled Mysteries, and read it. And so this was a book, actually I think the name of the book was the third in the series of I Am books. It was the I Am Discourses, because I had remembered seeing that book all my life as a child, and I thought it had a very kind of a foreboding title that I wouldn't understand. So I obeyed God, and I took the book, and I thought I was in for something very deep. So I settled into an old leather chair, and I put my legs over the side of the chair, opened the book, and I saw this portrait of Saint Germain that we have here, that very picture. And as I looked at him, I was completely electrified. I leapt up out of the chair, I ran to my mother, and I said, here, look, here is Saint Germain. Have you ever seen him? Do you know him? And she said, yes, I know him. And I said, why haven't you ever told me about him? And she said, I wanted you to find him for yourself. So there I was off to college. I took the book, hopped on the train the next day, went out in the Midwest from New Jersey, where I grew up. 5 years I spent looking for Saint Germain. I couldn't find Saint Germain. I couldn't find a living soul who had ever heard of Saint Germain. And I thought it was a very perplexing experience. So I went to New York City after I started going from there to Boston University. And I combed the old bookstores, and I looked in the secondhand stores, and I found some decrees that had been published by this I Am organization, which I knew nothing about. And it was a little booklet of affirmations, containing affirmations of the violet flame. And although I had been a student of metaphysics, I had studied unity, Christian Science, I had read the Bible, I knew a great deal of truth beyond the usual form of religion, I had never given a powerful affirmation except about 3 times in my life when I called to God, and on each occasion I had noted that my prayer was answered instantaneously, and I was almost dumbfounded by this experience. 3 desperate situations I had had, and each one I made a call to God to come forth and help me, and instantaneously that help had been forthcoming. So I took note of that, but I never did understand it. I couldn't understand why the action was so immediate as opposed to simple prayer. So I got this book of old decrees. I was in New York, went back to Boston, and I began giving them. And as I gave them, my voice became more powerful just in the giving of the decrees. It was a matter of weeks that Mark Prophet came to Boston, sent by Almoria, to give a dictation in a group of Ascended Master students that had formed there. Within those same weeks, by a very roundabout way, I made contact with someone who knew of that group. From the time I began giving the violet flame, my whole life was turned around. So I began to understand that without the word was not anything made that was made. And I realized that all of my searching and longing for 5 years did not bear fruit because I was not applying the science of cosmos. I realized that the power of the word within us is the power of change. and that we were created by Elohim, who created and framed the worlds, who gave us the gift of the spoken word. And when we use it with the authority of God rather than the human authority or the human will, but when we allow God to speak through us, molecules and atoms of the earth literally do change. So since that hour, I have found that the decrees, the violet flame in particular, and all that we have to offer has completely changed my life. I have become a new creature many times over. Saint Germain has taken me back through my incarnations. When you give the violet flame, you're working on the balancing of karma, and you start with your present, today. Today's misqualified energy is transmuted, and then yesterday's, and then last week's, and last year's. And you go through the months, and you go through the years, and as you decree, you're going back and back and back until you find yourself actually experiencing embodiments 250,000 years ago. You start remembering being part of the race consciousness, even of a primitive evolution that was on the earth, whether or not you were embodied in it or not. You go through the whole consciousness of Earth's evolutions. If any of you have ever read Blavatsky, you know the very complex unfoldment she has of the history of Earth. So I've found that if you are diligently working with the violet flame, at least in my case, being sponsored by the Master, which is very important because we all need the Guru, that in about a 6-month period of earnest striving, prayer, fasting, and decrees, you can go through the karma of one lifetime. So I found that periodically, about every 6 months, I would come into the next previous embodiment as Saint Germain would reveal it. I would see my mistakes and shortcomings. I would see my triumphs, the tragedies, the inanities, the mediocrities, all of the things that we go through in our lifetimes. And I would study them. He would show me how we have to turn our weaknesses into strengths, how we need to really know what our strengths are, capitalize on them, and use them to help to set life free. So it's been an amazing experience. I have never been psychically regressed. The Master does not use hypnosis. It's through the Christ mind, through your own being, you come into that awareness. I know many people in California and around the world have successfully used these methods for want of any other. The only problem with probing the past before you come to it logically in the sequence of decrees is that you can open a can of worms that you're not ready for. Many people bump into their past embodiments and they become emotionally distraught with what they are seeing and with the problems they may have had with persons that they are now dealing with or persons unknown. So it is a road to be approached with great respect and reverence. And we don't like to take heaven by force, but we know that as we give the violet flame, scenes begin to pass through the memory, through the inner eye, and through the mind. And those scenes usually begin with long forgotten episodes of your present embodiment. And when you see them, it is not that they are being recreated, it is that they are flashing before you as they are going into the flame. So if you come to something unpleasant, the thing to do is to intensify the calls to the violet flame and keep on going. And you understand that the violet flame only transmutes that which is unreal or unworthy of your Christhood. Everything else ascends to that causal body and is preserved forever. All of your good words and good works, all of your fine creations, all of your loves that have been pure in God, everything that is exalted, everything that we would want to keep in heaven is already in heaven, because that which is good ascends immediately. Our good works go before us to heaven as a testimony to the angels and to God that we are coming home. So our causal bodies grow and grow and grow with the decrees we give and with all the service to life and the wonderful experiences we have. So the sacred fire doesn't take anything from us but the debris, and it refines and purifies what is good, and it leaves us free and unencumbered to do what we have to do at hand. So many people are walking around today heavy, weighted down, weighted physically. They feel dense. They feel like they don't have any get up and go, any push. And it's karma. It's the weight of past lives. And Saint Germain is such a lover of your soul. He so intensely desires you to make it in the full flame of freedom of the seventh ray. And he devised the violet flame and went before cosmic councils for a dispensation to give it to the evolutions of Earth. They warned him that mankind would misuse the violet flame and use it to their own selfish purposes. He said, I will pay the price. I will bear the karma for the misuse of the violet flame, but I want the people to have it. So with the coming of Saint Germain's dispensation for the Aquarian age, we had the sponsorship of America, you have the sponsorship of Australia, and many freedom movements have come forth. His aura, his presence. This master, if you can really comprehend the meaning of the master, is so profound and has such attainment, his aura fills the planet. And he does keep the action of freedom in every type of situation, be it education or science. As you know, he is the father of that science. The violet flame is the key to action. We have a lot of people today who like to talk about things. Even politics has become metaphysical. We are seized with our theories. We think we know the way things should be done, but they don't stand the test of practical action. They don't work. The violet flame sees to it that we are charged with what works. What works is what is right as long as its purpose is to glorify God in you and Christ in all people. So the violet flame is like that whistle, that tremendous wind of the Holy Spirit that takes from us everything else but what is necessary to get this world in shape. So I want to tell you from my personal experience, I know all of you have an intense desiring of your heart to do more for people, for life, to become more of who you are. And I know what that desiring is, and I know you wouldn't be here if you didn't have it. And the step, the giant step into the path of really the masterful presence of your Godhood, the giant step into the Great White Brotherhood, from the former to the new age, is the violet flame. So let's do it. The proof is in the pudding. I commend you to the great joy of this practice daily. Remember, when you say I am, you're saying God in me is. This is page 2, I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame, in action in me now. I am the violet flame, to light alone I bow. I am the violet flame, in mighty cosmic power. I am the light of God, shining every hour. I am the violet flame, blazing like a sun. I am God's sacred power, freeing everyone. I am the violet flame, in action in me now. I am the violet flame, to light alone I bow. I am the violet flame, in mighty cosmic power. I am the light of God, shining every hour. I am the violet flame, blazing like a sun. I am God's sacred power, freeing everyone. I am the violet flame, in action in me now. I am the violet flame, to light alone I bow. I am the violet flame, in mighty cosmic power. I am the light of God, shining every hour. I am the violet flame, blazing like a sun. I am God's sacred power, freeing everyone. That's 3 ways to give that decree. It's your choice. They're all correct. Just depends on building a momentum. I'm using a funnel of air from the seat of the soul chakra up to my throat chakra to give this decree. The power is the power of all of my chakras, all 7, at work simultaneously, releasing that sacred fire in the focus of the spoken word. I am the violet flame, in action in me now. I am the violet flame, to light alone I bow. I am the violet flame, in mighty cosmic power. I am the light of God, shining every hour. I am the violet flame, blazing like a sun. I am God's sacred power, freeing everyone. I am the violet flame, in action in me now. I am the violet flame, to light alone I bow. I am the violet flame, in mighty cosmic power. I am the light of God, shining every hour. I am the violet flame, blazing like the sun. I am God's sacred power, freeing everyone. Now you have the mantra, I am a being of violet fire. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. Then we have the Lovely God Presence, Violet Flame Decree. More Violet Fire, page 6. This has a very special rhythm. The power of this decree is in the spoken word and the rhythm. Loving God presence, I am in me. Hear me now, I do decree. Rid of past each blessing for which I call upon the Holy Christ self of each and all. Let violet fire of freedom roll round the world to make all whole. Saturate the earth and its people too with increasing Christ's radiance shining through. I am this section from God above, sustained by the hand of heavens, love transmuting the causes of discord, here removing the cause of the undue fear. I am the full power of freedom's love, raising all earth to heaven above. Violet fire now blazing bright in living beauty is God's own light, which right now and forever sets the world, myself, and all life eternally free and ascended master perfection. Almighty I am, almighty I am, almighty I am. Loving of presence I am in me, hear me now, I do decree, bitter message, blessing for which I call upon the Holy Christ self of each and all. Let violet fire of freedom roll round the world to make all whole. Saturate the earth and his people too with increasing Christ's radiance shining through. I am this sector from God above, sustained by the hand of heavens, out transmuting the causes of discord, here removing the cause of the undue fear. I am the full power of freedom's love, raising all earth to heaven above. Violet fire now blazing bright in living beauty is God's own light, which right now and forever sets the world, myself, and all life eternally free and ascended master perfection. Almighty I am, almighty I am, almighty I am. Loving your presence I am in me, every now I need a great presence, blessing which I got about the cause of a vision. Let my freedom roll around the world to make all those that are the people do the great radiance shining through. I am the son from God above, the same with the hand of heaven, I'm trying to the cause of discord, here remove the cause of the undue fear. I am the full power of freedom, love, blazing bright in living beauty is God's own light, which right now and forever sets the world, myself, and all life eternally free and ascended master perfection. Almighty I am, almighty I am, almighty I am. Now, when you've given that decree 10,000 times, you might like to give it that quickly. You know, you do have your own clock, and you know what determines the clock, the inner clock of your being? It's actually the rate of the spin of the electron around the atom. You see, our atoms are clogged with our own karma, our own misqualified energy, our own consciousness. And so the violet flame penetrates every atom and cell of our being. And as it transmutes that substance, which is like concrete, it's actually like molasses, it gets so heavy and sticky. As it is transmuted, the electrons begin to spin, they throw off into the flame the impurity, you feel lighter, you put behind you old ways of thinking, old ways of feeling, your diseases, you become younger, you become rejuvenated. And you'd be amazed how great you feel. And you find that your thinking process is stepped up. You actually are functioning more quickly than many people around you. And if you haven't seen some people you know for 10 or 20 years, you can gauge by where you are and where they are that really, in some cases, the world is standing still and you're accelerating into the 7th dimension. And it's very noticeable when you give this flame.
Okay, a couple of thoughts and then I'm going to close it. I'm looking at the watch, so I'm going to give you time for question and answers in a minute. So if you do not have any questions, please put it in the chat box, chat room, and no questions, and then Poonam will pass you by. But a couple of thoughts before we come to that point, so I'll give you some time to get ready for it. If you have questions, you can raise your, I think if you look at the bottom of the screen, there is a reaction box called reaction, and then when you click on that one, there will be some symbols. You can have a palm like that, raise hand. If you have question, you can click on that raise hand, and Poonam can actually ask you for question. That will we have a process moving much faster. So a couple of thoughts that I want to share with you. One is that earlier she was talking about different embodiments of Saint Germain, or in the past also she talked about different embodiments of different masters, different Chohans. And you might be thinking, how does she know that? It's a question, how does she know that? And this is something that a lot of you know, that Akashic records, people have been gifted by that blessing of reading into the Akashic records and look into that. But in her case, as a messenger, she was actually in communication with the masters also at the at the inner level, because she has given a lot of dictations. So a master really, but like if like a talking to her like we're talking right now. and tell her whatever was needed, whatever master thought was needed for people, and in this yug mein, this time mein, what people we need to know about previous embodiments, or learn a lesson that who Saint Germain was in this case, some of the embodiments that he talked about, how it progressively we come, and all of us we come in different embodiments. To we make mistake, and we sometimes we come back in other embodiment, and then we unlearn it. But one thing I learned from someone, and when I was in India, that someone said that, oh, so and so, his guru told him that we know we don't go backwards, we go always forward, in our spiritual progress. And I said, no, that is not correct, because it's like a free will choice. Someone could have made a lot of progress in spiritual attainment in one life, and next life the person can be in a bad society, bad karma, bad atmosphere, bad company, and overpowered by different situations, and then he can go down, he can lose most of it or all of it, and has to come back. So that is something that we have to make a note of, that there are a lot of myths, a lot of opinions about people that have formed their own, and we believe them, people believe them, and we don't have to, because it's not. So Sunday Master is a something that's in the proof, in the pudding. This is how you do, and this is what happens. So we all make mistakes, and we come back, and we have a free will choice. So nothing is automatic. You know that. We have a free will choice. Opportunity comes with a free will choice. That's one point I want to make. So the second point was she made a comment about 6 months. It takes 6 months of diligent work, to balance one lifetime's karma, going backwards, from where we are today to yesterday, to last week and last month. But she also mentioned that in her case, she was sponsored by master. So we want to, that was another reason why 6 months, or some people, sometimes people think, oh, 6 months I can do decrease. How long do I decrease? 15 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours? I can balance my karma, and is it guaranteed? All those questions come up from the human mind. So my answer is, that a lot of things is very diligently decreeing is means a whole lot. First of all, how you take it, how you give it, how a devotee, how he takes the teaching of the master to the heart, or he just do it as a lip service, or as a looking at the clock, or आज मैं आधा घंटे की degree कर दी आज, I have done it my part. Now I can enjoy my life other part. Yeah, I've seen people do that. So please know that we want to ask the master to sponsor us. That's one thing I'm suggesting all of you. Ask Master Saint Germain, Chananda, El Moria, Guru Nanak, Krishna, any master to ask you to sponsor it. It'll be easier for a Sunday master to sponsor us rather than a god and goddess or cosmic being, because they are at a higher level. These Sunday masters, I have just graduated from the scene of the earth, so they can, because they know that, and I think that they can sponsor us on experimental basis, on a training period, on a probation period, they call it, for 6 months or so. See how we do that. But please try that also. Ask a Sunday master to sponsor you. But and then during the probationary period, see that whatever is required, that they also build up the momentum, so you'll be able to keep it rest of the life. So those are the things that I think apply to diligently decreeing, becoming what I call it a chela, Chela, chela with a capital C. We are all chelas with a small c, but you want to become a chela with a capital C. And that is one, I'm talking about one who has the sponsorship, who is doing decrease diligently, who becomes the prize, Prizeze, prize of the masters. So these are my comments. I think I've gone over 5 minutes of my time. So I think what we're going to do is, if you have already done that in the chat room, no questions, so I'll ask Poonam and Jay, please. Yeah, okay. Let's have some questions and suggestions, or anything people have.
Okay, sir. श्रीनिवास जी, आपका कोई क्वेश्चन है?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Sir, I have a question. 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 Sir, I have a question
See, namaste, Jay.
Anji, namaste.
I have a small question, sir. Sir, what is the meaning of 3 times 3? 3 times 3. What is the meaning of that? I would like to know, sir.
Again, meaning of 353. I didn't.
3 times 3. What is
Oh,
the
three
meaning of
times
3
three.
times 3?
Okay, 3 times 3. That's a good question, by the
Yes,
way.
sir. Yes,
I'm sorry, I misheard it. 3 times 3,
yes.
according to the teachings of the master, the power of three. The power of three is Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. We know the Trinity of God, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. That is one way to look at it. Then each of the power of the three is again 3 times 3, like Brahma has a power of three on his own. Vishnuji has a power of 3 times 3 of his own. And you have a 3 times 3 power because we have a threefold flame. Brahmaji has a threefold flame. Vishnuji has a threefold flame. So it's like a 3 times 3 is a cosmic number. That's why we give the, the, the decree 3 times. We give our decree 3 times. But the meaning of 3 times 3 is a doesn't it means it can make 9. You can say 3 times 3 is 9. So that's a linear explanation. 3 times 3 is 9. But I think it's at the cosmic level, at the circular level, at the spherical level, it's much bigger than that. So it's again when we go the meaning of doing decree diligently, as we when we this question comes up as come up in your mind, Srinivas. So that is a opening of the mind 3 times 3. What is the meaning of that? So that means you. What I do is when I do my decrees, I say by the power of 3 times 3. Master use that mantra very often. There's a mantra called by the power of the 3 times 3. America and India and all are free. There is another mantra that we haven't used it in our services, but this is a very powerful mantra. So when you say that by the power of 3 times 3, America and India and all are free, that is really you're saying the power of 3 times 3 is a cosmic level. Every Sunday master, every cosmic being has a power of 3 times 3. So you are actually multiplying the power of the whole cosmos to your decree. And that is what it means. But gradually you begin to feel that as you begin to get connected with this understanding, your chalice, your mind, chalices mean your heart chalice, your cups, your chakras, they begin to expand and hold more light. And then once they hold more light, you become much more everything, God-like, everything. So 3 times 3 is in short word, in one sentence, if I want to say that, becomes the power of 3 times 3 is a tool, is a ladder, is a CD, is a stairwell that leads us to the heart of God with the cosmic understanding and multiplication of the whole all beings in the cosmos. Every ascended master, every cosmic being is giving their momentum, adding their momentum to your decrees, to your call, to your prayers. That's all I can think of. ठीक है? Yeah, I think you are on the mute, so I I cannot hear you. So is that all right? Yeah, I guess he's we can come back to him. Poonam, let's move on, please.
Okay, sir.
Akash ji?
So, मोटो जी मोबाइल
हाँ जी?
सर मेरी आवाज आ रही है
Yeah, Arya, but you are taking too long, Poonam. I've got to move faster.
नहीं सर मैंने बोला है वो उसने मेरे को मैसेज कर दिया ऑलमोस्ट खाली ये क्या नाम है ये जो मोबाइल नंबर आ रहा है ना मोटो जी पावर 21 इनका नहीं आया है
Okay.
ये 2 मैसेज और आया है सर नहीं देखिए पूजा तुली का मैसेज मेरे पास आ गया, रीटा लांबा जी का आ गया है, पूजा निकाले जी का आ गया, लवीना का आ गया, बिलिंडा जी का आ गया है, पूजा आहूजा का आ गया, अलका जी का आ गया, आकाश जी का मैसेज आ गया है.
Okay, so I guess let's see. Diane, any question, any suggestion on your part? Would you like to add something, Diane? Diane is from Washington, D.C. Well,
She is
first
not.
time.
She is not on the. She doesn't have audio connected, so she won't be able to speak.
Okay, she cannot hear it. Let's see. Anyone else from? Hello?
सर मैंने अनम्यूट कर दिया है.
Hi, Diane. Can you hear me?
सर उनका मैं अनम्यूट नहीं कर पाऊंगी, वो है नहीं ना, वो खाली वीडियो पे है.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, I am just want to make sure that I have anything that Jay, you want to say something about the Violet Flame session that Violet Flame week that we are beginning from your experience?
So the only thing I would like to say is that the visualization is very important, because when we try to do decrease, especially violet flame, we get some thoughts which are not in line with the degree we are doing, and we really go away from the degree and go into a different situation. So it is very important to have a heart, visualization centered at the heart, to have the most effective degree session. That's the only thing.
Thank you. Poonam, any of your thoughts about the Violet Flame you have been giving for so many years? What any?
सर अभी तो कुछ नहीं कहना चाहती.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I have a great week ahead of you doing Violet Flame decrease, and we'll talk about more about the eighth ray decree. That eighth ray, what is the eighth ray Mahachuan? And next weekend, I'll send you the information on that. So, yeah, can we have the sealing, by Guruma, please? The wording and the audio message.
Light of the eternal spheres, Elohim of God, beloved Hercules and Amazonia with us, seal us in the Emmanuel, seal us in the light of Sanat Kumara, seal now the emergent grail of each one, seal the flaming potential of the soul, the heart and the mind, and the physical foundation thereof, the mental, the etheric, and the feeling world. Seal these hearts with living fire. Seal them now as we sing to the Ancient of Days, Sanat Kumara. Fill our grail, fill us now, Sanat Kumara, and let us be a living replica of the chalice of Elohim and of the Ancient of Days. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and the Mother, we accept it on this hour in full power.
Okay, God bless you all. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful evening and wonderful week ahead of you. And we'll meet again on next Saturday.
Thank you, sir.
Take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.